Good evening. Good evening. I hope you all are doing wonderful. And thank you so much for coming to our AVL meetup this evening. If you have not met me, hello, my name is Ray Hicks. Adieu. If I have not met you, I hope to later this evening. And every time we mention it, because it's that important, we are bringing together Asheville's movers and shakers. And what is that? Well, that means an influential figure driving change, woo woo, shaping industries, that's right, and making moves with bold decisions and impactful actions. So I would think that all of you would raise your hand if I asked you to, if that described you. Let's raise our hands. Yep, let's do it. Be involved. Love it. Love it. Thank you. All right. So, how does one become a mover and shaker? Well, you can look around, ask others sitting around you, because there are plenty of them here. But first, what you can do is embody our very own net profit philosophy. Everything we do, if you don't know, is based on networking, education, and transactions. So, do you know anyone like that? We have someone in mind who's been doing this extremely well in her very own way. So, we want to shout out our very own Elena Kovrigan. Is she here yet? Dang, but yay anyway. So, she will be featured on an Emmy nominated and Telly Award winning TV show, The American Dream. So, if she were here, this is what I will say. So, when she gets here, we can tell her. It's been awesome to know her. She's been with us since the beginning, and it's been an honor to be a part of her journey. And she does the things very well. She does her own version and a lot of networking. She also does education and, clearly, to make it on TV, plenty of transactions. So, let's poll the room. Raise your hand if you're a realtor with us this evening. All right, solid. All right, how many investors do we have? We typically have a crew of you. Ooh, I like this. This is high. All right, and how about lenders? Where's the money at? Okay, look at the hands. There's money. And service providers. So are you a plumber? Are you insurance? Love it. Okay. Are you some sort of GC, inspector? Awesome. So all those hands raised, let's do what we do and network after. And non-real estate personnel, I see some new, or persons, not personnel. I see some, all right, raise your hand. I see a lot of new faces tonight. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, round of applause. New people. And as always, I'm always positive, but guys, this we don't do enough. Tag us in your stuff tonight. Tag us as you're out in the community. So stay connected and please tag us. Next, we focus on education. So right down here, you can see we have done, since we've been born, over 4,000 hours of education. And a quick shout out, the t-shirts you see us wearing are from our Net Profit Summit. This was super fun. Was anyone there last year? Okay, a couple of you. All right. We have speakers in the room. We have sponsors in the room, actually, from last year. It was a 2-day summit where we had speakers from all over come in and talk about how to build your business, grow your business, sustain your business, make financially sound decisions, and also some new ideas if you could potentially break off and start a new business. It was a great time. So quick shout out. Next, of course, we focus on transactions. So we want you to do transactions together. We want you to do transactions out in the community. That's what we're here for, right? To do business, meet people, do the things. So raise your hand if you've done a deal with an AVL meetup member. All right, this is improved. Love it. Got hands in the back if you didn't see them. Awesome. So speaking of which, so last month our topic was lead gen. We had 3 expert panelists similar to what we'll have tonight, right? And we heard from Jordan Lockaby on lead gen. So let's talk about Jordan just for a quick second. She is an AVL meetup member. This is her performance in the trailing 15 months, 17.3 million. So what she talked about, I would say would be good advice at this point. You don't call me crazy. And also shameless plug, REMC. This is one of Zach's software, so pretty fantastic. Ooh, right? Okay. So, and her number one source of leads to do that business, does anyone remember? You can shout it out if you do. Did someone say referrals? Okay, that was part of it. Yes. What else? It's okay, I'll tell you. So it was her community. So she really focuses on the relationships that she has and building new ones in order to be that go-to person within her community. A very, very wise decision. So, community is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. I think we all share a similar goal. Whatever we do, our goal is to do it well, represent our communities well, represent our families well. So we can say we have common goals. And attitudes, I will say, I'm sure some of you are negative Nancy's, but this summer we're going to be positive Percy's, okay? We're going to have a good attitude about business and about building community and relationships. So, speaking of which, please come out July 11th, same time. It is a Thursday. Note that it is a Thursday, not a Tuesday. But we will be having our second annual AVL Meetup Mixer, 5:30. Drinks and fun at Capella on 9. And I know seeing these pictures, you're super jealous if you weren't there. And you're super excited for the shout outs if you were. So please join us. It'll be a great time. Beautiful people, beautiful views, great conversations, and just a good time. Okay, so today we have the experts on building community, and I'm very excited to hear from these ladies and gentlemen when they come up for the expert panel. So a couple things on how do you build community. So clearly you're in the right spot for that. Thank you, AVL Meetup, you've came. So this is just a couple shots of us and our crazy and fun community. And just a couple other things. Maybe it is sporting events, big church events, coffee with your favorite people. It was a coffee talk. Pouring into the community. This is a group of youth, right? Pouring into the youth in the community, volunteering your time, resources, money. Maybe you're just a festival person and you get your people and you go festival and we'll then have fun and build community. It could be just hanging out with your friends, doing life adventures together, having a good time. And maybe you're pouring into the community in a different way, teaching the community, establishing yourself as an expert in an area. So when something comes up, they say, hey, this is who I'm going to call. I know that they'll help me. And you know what? They've taken the time to pour into me and what I needed at that time. So let's give them a call. Okay, leading into our first table question of the evening. Which community in Asheville has had the greatest impact on you? 5 minutes and go.
Hi, I'm Sabrina West, your local mortgage expert with Guaranteed Rate. We provide you and your clients real talk in real time. I am a mentor, investor, and money mortgage expert that provides you with customized consultations with a behavioral finance approach that helps you build wealth through real estate. We believe in clients for life, so reach out today for your customized consultation.
Before we get to the panel, we wanted to take an opportunity and just set the stage about the journey of AVL Meetup, January 10th, 2021 through June 4th, 2024. So in that time, we've done 29 events. And for those people who have registered and signed into the events, we've got over 4,000 hours of education and networking. 1,400 plus people have attended. And we've got 76 expert panelists that have been on our stage and have spoken to all of us. So how did we get here? As you can see, this is a screenshot from the first website we ever had. And this might sound familiar to you, but on our first website, first thing we ever put out was our goal was to bring together the movers and shakers in the Asheville community. And the way we're going to do that is by bringing a panel of local experts and then have a really good networking with the attendees, right? Create meaningful connections with other members of the AVL business ecosystem. So, sound familiar? We still say pretty much the same thing today. We wanted to create an event that we were excited to go to personally. And that event needed to be data-driven with actionable insights and hyper-local focus. And we wanted it to be free. So we didn't want a pitch fest. And this is where we're at today, which meant it had to be a labor of love.
And so on the so on the labor of love part, we have some fundamental beliefs about how a great event would go. One of them is that we believe that great events require great systems and processes. And so you'll notice a trend here. We started working on those on day -1. Even during ideation, we were like, how do we do this at scale, basically, right? So we started this on the freemium stack. If you want to start something similar, there's an article on its way, but this is all we use. Google Forms, Google Sites, Google Sheets, Google Slides. We still use that one. MailChimp and Zapier to kind of connect it all and be scrappy, right? So this is what our first website looked like. You can see on the right there, every one of those was an update to make it work, and it wasn't fun. And in between events and speaker updates and RSVPs, constantly updating a site. So we moved off this eventually. You'll see that was what we're about. And then very much like our website looks today, this was our little speaker panel. Unfortunately for Jay, as we were figuring things out, his head isn't the greatest head, right? But our cartoon heads did get better over time. And then we had the meeting schedule. Again, it'll kind of look familiar to you, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We usually do a market recap. Today's a little different. And then we have our panel discussion, and then we let the community do its thing, right? So
Yeah, so great events require great speakers. And so we started reaching out to the speakers day -1. And we were taking the Gary Vee model, which is host the party, right? But the dilemma was we didn't want to just host a party. We wanted to host a party every single month. And that meant we had to have that balance between quality and quantity. We've had 76 speakers that have shared with us. After tonight, it'll be 79. And that's been a continuous effort.
thank you. Thank you.
That's been a continuous effort of connecting with people in the community because, as you'll notice, the majority of the speakers are local to Asheville. They live and work in Asheville, and they're also at the top of their game. They're all people we can look up to. The best parties, as you guys will know, are the ones where you meet somebody you feel confident you can party together with them again in the future. Or in our case, you can do business with them in the future.
Right back to that net profit philosophy. So finally, we believe that great events require great attendees. So we started reaching out to these attendees on day -1. Back to the fact that we did all this for free. Here's a little trade secret, right? So we used Gmail, Google Sheets, and free to me, REMC. You guys would have to pay for it, but it works for me. So look, we put together a mail merge. So we grabbed all of the data, all of the transactional data, and we sent out these data-driven emails essentially, and they look just like this. The point is, hey, you were one of the top 25 realtors in one of the surrounding counties last month. We're filling the room with people at your level of the game or higher. We encourage you to be in this room. We are only doing the movers and shakers. Help us make that possible. So from day one, that's how we started doing it. Then we reached out to our personal network, our community and sphere, and that's how we got here today, right? So we built AVL Meetup on these 3 ingredients. We believe that you need great systems, great speakers, and great attendees. And on the great attendees thing, the other thing is, right, from us to you, we just want to say thank you. If you stopped showing up, we would stop showing up too. So we're very grateful that everyone has continued to support us. So just wanted to say thanks for that.
So every story has growing pains, and we definitely had some. So long story short, about a year ago, we actually got coaching on a community. We woke up and we realized that AVL Meetup had become a lot bigger than we ever thought it was going to be. I think our dream at the beginning was like, if we could get a consistent 20 to 30 people to show up, like that would be winning. And we felt like there was a responsibility for us to like take it a little bit more seriously. So we had somebody to talk to that had been there and done that before.
Next, we outgrew all those free tier systems. Immediately, Zapiers were getting too many zaps. MailChimp was sending too many contacts, all of that. So we outgrew that, and we ended up building our own custom event software. So if you liked the check-in forms, seeing it all update, if you like the RSVPs, everything that changes, we built that from scratch. And what I'll say about that is, I hope you don't outgrow the systems because it's been 3 years of coding and fun, which is great, right? But try to use existing solutions.
Yeah. So we also threw a very massive, very ambitious to us event. It was a 2-day event we called the Net Profit Summit.
Side note. So big events need big teams and big budgets. We learned this the hard way. We were humbled. It was a great event, but was it a great time in life? I don't know. Questionable. However, we were saved. We found ourselves a Crom and a Ray Ray, and they're here tonight. If we could just get a round of applause. Like, they basically worked for food and drinks, and Ray Ray doesn't drink. So it was great for us. And they showed up. It would not have been possible without them. And finally, pardon? Well, we're good. Finally, the middle stage here, right? Before we got here, we had the venue shuffle. And what is a Wallum? What is a Wallum?
Well, we started our first meeting. We did it at the Whitegart office in East Asheville. Aaron Kraft was the broker at that time. He hooked us up, let us have it. Then we moved to Archetype downtown when it was still Archetype. And we were there for almost a year, something like that.
We were there a while, but then we couldn't be there one night, with 2 days notice. So then Sean and Eric at a Hatch saved the day. That's the H there.
And just to clarify, it was not Archetype's fault. The city said, you can't host an event. because your deck doesn't look good enough.
But like on Monday and our event's on Tuesday, right? So people showed up, saved the day. Then we went to Lotsar. If you guys are familiar, Atlantic Sky, we held a like symposium or whatever you would call it with the mayor of Canton right after the paper mill closed. Then Hatch hooked it up again. We were at Highwire for a little bit until finally we got here.
Yeah,
with the
thanks
mule,
to Alexi.
who's somewhere. There you go, but he's somewhere. Trust us. All right, so where are we now? Where are we now? It's still free, but we do have sponsors. So fun, we managed to do that, right? So
So thanks to any of the sponsors that are here. All of the sponsors, just quick note, they're all personally like people that Zach, Ray, or I have worked with or have done business with. So definitely personal recommendation there.
we also have a venue that everyone loves, I think, right? So quick shout out to the Mule. Buy another drink. Tip your bartenders. They have been awesome to us. This is the Goldilocks place in Nashville. There's parking, there's food outside. I hope you guys go to the food, and there's drinks. Come on, right? We've also added infrastructure.
Yeah, so we have all of these are now on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We have Instagram. That's much better than when Zach and I were trying to do it. It was terrible. We have our website that's newly, updated and designed, and a lot of you in the crowd. We have volunteers who help each event run smoothly and do a lot of the heavy lifting to have a great experience when we show up to these.
Yep. So what's next? We're closing up here. What's next? We've been asking ourselves that question a lot lately, for being honest. A lot, right? And kind of a symbolic picture. I'll let you guys decide which one of us is Muhammad Ali. However, we're kind of wondering, what would it look like to pass the torch, huh? We'll just drop that ball and move on. So quick question for you. Raise of hands. These are our first 5 meetups. Was anybody here at the first 5 meetups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this. All right. Amazing.
Thank you for coming back.
Right. So we wanted to create an event that we were excited to go to, and topic of tonight, right? We ended up with a community that we were proud to be a part of. That is just a fact, right?
It's so safe to say that for Zach and I, this has definitely been one of the most fun things we've been part of in the last 3 years, despite it just being a hobby, essentially.
So when we went to the coaching, they were like, what was your number one thing? We're like, it's got to be fun. And he's like, all right, not the best business model. but here we are. It's been a great journey. So on that, and then next coming up is the panel, right? 5 minutes. Thank you for coming back respectfully. We love that. If it's your first time, find somebody, or maybe this is your favorite AVL
or
meetup
talk about
story.
a different community they've got good memories on.
Right? But what is your favorite AVL meetup story? 5 minutes, and we'll be joined by the panelists. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Craig Peters with Alfie Investors. Alfie is a private debt fund based in Asheville, North Carolina. We provide financing to real estate investors, builders, and entrepreneurs, primarily focus on spec home construction. We've been in business since 2015. We've funded over 1,300 loans and almost $400 million. If you're interested in learning more about our financing options for your next project, please give us a call.
We started at AVL Meetup because of something that we wanted to see, and was just wondering if you could answer like, what was the spark, or what was the aha moment for you to be like, okay, like something that I want isn't there. It's time to go create it. And then just whatever context around that you feel like would be appropriate. And ladies first.
Okay, I'll start. I'm Hannah Kitt, co-founder of Power of Women and CEO for Keller Williams across Buncombe County. So in a nutshell, Kim can tell her version of it, but I have 2 daughters, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And when I came back from my second maternity leave, I stepped into the position of CEO at Keller Williams. And I thought, okay, I'm going to be 100% mom and 100% CEO, not realizing I could not be 200%. So pretty quickly, I felt like I was failing everywhere. And my business partner is Jeff Stewart, and he said in a really nice way, well, women have done this before you, like reach out to someone who's done it and see how they did it. And so I called Kim Winters, because Kim, in my mind, had built a massive empire in lending, and she's also the mom of 5. So I'm like, okay, well, Kim's done it. I only have 2 kids. And we started talking, and I think I just quite frankly said, how'd you do it? And she said, with a tribe, right? Like with other women and men. We have men we love in our lives too, but it wasn't alone. And I think a big piece of it is giving yourself grace. And that wasn't even on my radar. So it was.
I think you summed it up.
It was
Perfectly.
Yeah. Kim was my inspiration. But I think what I'll say is the community was created because of a gap I felt in my life and an inadequacy that I felt in my life. And I think obviously that can be men or women. If you're suffering or you're feeling at a loss or whatever, someone else is too, right? And that's what we've found through Power of Women is we have this massive community, which is not near as organized from a systems standpoint as this community.
We're inspired.
Yeah, we're inspired.
Awesome.
But I think vulnerability creates connection that you would never have otherwise.
So Kim is being a very conscientious panelist, but for the folks at home and listening, there was an audible "ooh" with 5 kids and making it all happen. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
I was part of that.
Yeah, if you didn't hear that at home, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're going to add anything otherwise.
I think Hannah pretty much summed it up. What I would say is that one of the things that if you want to start a community, I think is important is to sort of surround yourself. And our first meeting, we just invited like 10 women. And we said, this is kind of what we're thinking. Does this have some legs? What do you think? And I think that really was kind of how we got started.
Yeah, being specific. Like you guys invited the top 25. We picked 10 female head turner real estate agents, and we gathered them. So I think we didn't want to be exclusive, and there's some real value in being specific in who you want to create a community for.
Well, AVL Digital Nomads is a pretty specific name on that note. Rick, what was the aha moment for you then?
So when we talk about AVL Digital Nomads, we're talking about remote workers. Also to clarify that it's location independent. So could be hybrid, could be solo entrepreneurs, could be freelancers, could be realtors, could be anyone who doesn't come into an office. So where we started was there's a lot of isolation when it comes to working alone and so forth. You lack community. And so I've been working remote for a long time. I'm a software entrepreneur. And when my wife and I came here, I was looking for friends. And I heard, hey, it's about bringing your job with you. So to me, that meant remote. I needed some friends. I'll start a meetup. Boom. So it was not as thought through as you. We just
it only sounds like that right now. Let me be clear. Right? It was a really great wrapper on a story that was haphazard.
It's pretty true, though. And so we grew, but again, it was all around how do we help people not feel lonely, not feel remote, and bring them together to have not just community, but make for some friends. And I'll go deeper later, but that was the whole genesis, was creating some connection for people who didn't have connection.
Well, there's the quote, what is it? If not me, who? If not when, now? Our next question. When you were thinking about what you wanted in this community, what was the North Star? Like, did you have a framework? Like, you guys identified a population, but did you have a framework for kind of making the community? I know you guys have a tremendous amount of different events, maybe smaller, but coordinated by the community and supporting those different subgroups within it. What was your North Star or framework, or was it just kind of, did it just kind of happen?
Me first, right?
Yes, sir. We're gonna go back and forth, just to let you guys know.
Originally, our mission was creating a social community for remote workers. So that was it. And about events, pure social events. We did not want business networking. We didn't want press the flesh. It was got to get out of my house, meet some people, make friends, and let's do that. And then we evolved further to now our mission is helping remote workers thrive through connection, collaboration, and community impact. So now all our events are around those 3 areas.
We're going to skip Kim and Hannah for a second because our next question is about this. And so get ready. Is your mission still the same when you started versus what it is today? And so you obviously mentioned that there's a little bit of a shift, and maybe can you double tap on that and explain what happened with that evolution?
So we have grown a lot. We're only 3 years old. We have 2,800 people.
Wow. Yeah.
Last month, we did 23 events with 700 people.
We won't be doing that in AVL meetup.
So around that though, as we shifted, we were growing so fast, so much, we learned that different people needed different things. We couldn't just do this all the time. We've been here, we've had 200 people here, which is great, but we have a lot of introverts. So we found other ways to reach different sets of people with a lot. So we do lunches, brunches, book clubs, small events, big events, and then we've expanded to topical things. So we have education around AI, what we all call collaborative learning, AI, 2 AI events.
Getting a point. We're getting a point.
Yeah. Leadership, marketing, fractional execs, and Tech Connect. So a lot of different stuff. And then community service and workforce development and a lot of stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have to ask Rick, do you go to all of these events?
Oh, I had questions.
No.
Okay, good.
We've evolved.
Good.
Yeah. We have now 35 organizers who
Awesome.
do the bulk of the work.
Leverage.
I would say our community definitely sort of changed a little bit. We wanted to do something rooted in personal growth and not make it, I mean, it's networking, but it's not like we're trying to sell you something. Initially, we were targeting a collection of women in real estate, but we really quickly realized that all women were hungry for this. It might be a stay-at-home mom. It might be somebody who's completely in a different industry altogether. We do not have that many members. I think we probably have over 100 members at this point, but it definitely grew. And we do something once a quarter. So
Yeah.
you are inspiring us.
Yeah. We host a quarterly event and it's $49, or you can be an annual member, I think, for $249. And that comes with some other perks. But
Oh dear.
we're back. We started by inviting the top 100 real estate agents that are female, and 88 of them showed up. And that's when we realized, and realtors are busy. So that meant a lot to us. We're like, okay, they want it. And so we did our first few events for realtors only, and really quickly realized it was not specific to real estate at all. So all women everywhere are welcome to come and be part of our community. And it started to evolve, and we have what you all have, business coming from it and connections coming from it, friendships. Like, it's been really neat to see that evolve. And that's not what we expected.
So kind of a follow-up question, but like on the framework. So maybe we didn't do the best job of explaining this to start. But so you guys are a paid membership and event. You are free and kind of like group managed essentially, right? Like, does someone raise their hand and say, I want to throw one of these events? Or so that's the question. Well, I hear laughter from some people.
Yeah.
That's the framework question. I just kind of
It's
wanted
like Reddit in real life, right? If you get enough votes.
is that a good analogy?
From our side, yeah. So I've got a whole lot of group right over here. So they're laughing here because the joke is, don't look me in the eye because you'll end up running something. Or it's a lot of people. It is from within. It's ground up. The community runs the community. So people have, oh, I'd love to do a lunch, or we should go to the ball game. Great.
Yeah.
Set it up, baby. We'll help you.
Yeah.
So we do foster it all from within it. So it is not top down. I can't do all this.
Your
When I was-
powerful gaze. Apparently, that's a good skill set. Just look at somebody and they do things. That's good.
When I was a younger man in the Marine Corps, there's this fun thing called a working party. It's not a party. They need someone. And they'd be like, I need 6 bodies for a working party. And you go, what's it for? I need 5 bodies for a working party. Like, you just volunteered. So it sounds like you
pretty
guys.
much,
Yeah, exactly.
We initially, for the first year, it was free and we were just getting sponsors. But what we realized is that to host 100 females who would like to eat breakfast or something,
At a nice place.
yeah, it costs some money. So after a year, I think we sort of had our audition and people were like, wow, we really find value in this. And so we just basically, it's revenue neutral.
So you threw 4, like quarterly, 4 events on the house. And at that point, you were like,
Yeah.
the house is
And-
expensive.
Yeah, right. The house got expensive. And that's when we also realized we didn't want to just have realtors in there. We wanted
Perfect.
anyone, any woman to feel welcome.
All right. So as you were building this, did you have any like communities or other communities you've been part of, or communities that you've seen that as it started gaining traction, you're like, okay, like we need to model this after something, or was it just guesswork and swings, misses, swing, connect? How did that process go? Any inspiration? Or was just,
You guys
trial
have
and
to
error?
start because
we would just say here. We just
Right,
were
like-
sitting over there saying we need to get our infrastructure together.
You
Yeah,
guys,
see, no,
yeah.
you-
We have you are an inspiration, but the book, The Wolf Pack by Abby Wambach, it's incredible. It's like this big and maybe that wide. It's not long, but that book talks about the importance of a tribe. And that, although it wasn't framework around building a community, it was inspiration to create the community. And we have failed forward many times. We don't have systems, and we say that jokingly about you being inspirational, but we mean it, right? And we will have that conversation with you, because what this community can become with more energy in it is limitless. We've created what I think is an incredible community, and we've not put a lot of energy into it. And I think that's a testament to how much it's needed. So again, if you need or want something in your life, I guarantee other people need and want it also, but someone has to start, right? Like everybody's scared. Oh, why me? What if this happens? Well, God knows we've been through it. But if we hadn't have continued to fail forward, we wouldn't have what we have. And I am a better mom and a better CEO because of that community and the women that have walked the path before me. So I think that's...
I would clap. I can't, but yeah, that was good. So part of our welcome questionnaire was, would you be willing to start a community? And there were a lot of yeses. So listen up. Let's do it.
How about for you, Rick? Or Kim, do you want to chime in on that? As far
I
as
think Hannah did a
Okay.
mic drop there.
So, Rick, when you got started, was there any community that you're trying to model or just replicate, or?
No replication, no model. We did intentionally discuss all about experimentation, that we're very open to experimentation. Let's just try different things. And as I mentioned, different people would come up, and I learned pretty quickly, the more I tried to control, the worse it got. So just letting people take things and do it, and we see what happens. We did have a few foundational things, which was very intentional, that we're building community. So the name tags, somewhat of a joke that I'm kind of anal about them, that everyone having a name tag. But it helps, right? Introductions, who are you? Remembering, kind of never remember names. So it helps, but very intentional on warm and welcoming, helping people make introductions, seeing anyone drifting around, bring them in. So that was always very intentional, but we didn't read it anywhere. We just did it.
You guys talked a lot about, or you mentioned that there wasn't anything you were modeling after, but is there any hard no's that you had? Like for us, one of the things for us was like, we never want there to be pitching from the stage. That was like a hard no for us. Were there any hard no's that you had when you were, kind of going through this growth process? Whoever wants to jump in, go for it. It's not specific.
It's power of women.
There you go.
That's kind of a
Kinda
hard no.
obvious.
I mean, not that we
I
we
feel
don't love you
marginalized.
guys, but
I feel
but that's-
marginalized. I can make women
community.
powerful. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think there were hard no's. I actually don't have an answer for that, because I guess the one thing is, no matter what, our topic is always rooted in personal growth. We do not talk business. I mean, yes, you may talk business at your tables, but again, it's not pitching. And I don't think we realized we were not doing that, but same. We've copied you.
Rick, how about for y'all?
We didn't, I mentioned this, but I'll clarify. We did not want old school business networking. We didn't want press the flesh. Here's my business card. Let me sell you something, that sort of stuff. It was, no, we're here to make friends and go that way. So we never really had to enforce anything, because it was what we built. And it just came to be that way. But that for us was the hard no.
So that's interesting. I was talking to Mike from Mosaic, and one of the things he brought up, I was like, how did you even start your business? And he was like, it's around the psychographics of Asheville. Basically, like, who comes to Asheville? I figured, like, let's market to this person. And I find it interesting that of the three more prominent groups in Asheville, we've all hit on that, right? Like, we're not here to come shake everyone's hand and make sure, oh, this is my job, this is what I do for business. Like, that doesn't seem to work here. So interesting that we've all fallen into that. All right, so next question. Can you guys share an example of an initiative you tried that did not go as planned? What happened and how did you pivot? And I guess I like that you guys are looking at each other.
Oh, we're starting?
Oh, apparently.
Oh, man. What? Well, here, this is ironic. I guess, I don't know if this is, our website is not working right now. And as a bootstrapping company, here we are on this stage and we want as many women here as possible to be involved. And we don't have a website to send you to. So what we did wrong twice was hire someone in the Philippines or Malaysia or wherever we were, someone we didn't know and couldn't communicate with because it was cost effective and we got what we paid for. So I would encourage anyone out there that wants to build a community, either do it through a free platform or find a true website builder to build a website. That's been a big fail for us. And now it's cost us more than it would had we just paid.
Rick?
Again, it was experimentation. So
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
can't say that it was failures. It was a lot of
Well, it just
small learning.
didn't go as planned.
Yeah. Well, so in the very beginning, it was like, oh, we could do some programmatic stuff around, oh, how does it feel to be remote? What's your office look like? People signed up for stuff. It would landed as flat could be. Just no one was interested. They just wanted to socialize. So we just put that to the side. But other than that, it's just been constant iteration.
Yeah, we actually have like a good problem to have that every time. Actually, today you guys have been an incredible audience, but
Yeah.
usually when we try to bring people back from the table question, it does not go well. But that's great because you're trying to get them to network. So it's kind of like, well, we're winning, right? Like everyone's here having a good time. But
Right.
that is, if you have a solution, please come and talk to us afterwards. But
Yeah, no. So with the communities that you've built, I think 3 years in, right, give or take. So we got a similar trajectory. As you know, we've been asking like, what's next for us at least. Do you have an idea of what's next for you all? Like, is there a longer term vision than just one more month or one more quarter?
I would say for us, we've had so many women outside of Asheville in our collective networks who are like, wow, we love this. And so Hannah and I looked at each other like, we might be onto something, right? So we now have a Power of Women in Boone. I think we have one in Charleston. So for us, we would like to create a collective that is bigger than Asheville. And I think that's something we didn't really expect.
are you looking to pass the torch?
We're not here locally. Well, someday, because we both want to move to the beach. But which is why we opened Charleston Power of Women.
Nice.
But we want to, we can't say franchise because we quickly realize that triggers all kinds of texts or all kinds of things. But we have chapters that are opening up in other markets. And so our intent is to see this go across the country because why not? We've built a business that we can put in a box. And if we have the right who in each market, there's no reason it won't be as impactful and, effective as it has been here. So our goal is to grow everywhere.
Nice. I like it. Sir.
So locally, we're looking to go on the third leg of that stool, more community service, get more involved, get our members more involved in community service,
What are the other two legs?
connection, collaboration, community,
go.
community impact.
The 3 C's.
The 3 C's.
Oh, there you go.
So there's that. But we also have started, we're a nonprofit. We are a 501c3. We have started United Digital Nomads and are going global. So at the start of this year, we have brought on Raleigh, Durham, Dayton, Ohio, Chicago, and just Wilmington. And we're planning to expand through the US and then the globe after. What we're trying to do is build communities of remote workers. Because again, remote workers are thought of as nothing. You're independent. You're in the woods. No one even measures you. You are not part of the workforce. The workforce is built by employees who work at a company. In this area, over 25% of the working class work remote, and we don't count. So we want to bring us together as a community. We have more power together. We can influence things if we're united.
What kind of things are you?
And it was also, yeah, absolutely.
What kind of things are you wanting to influence? Like that's it's very stated objective there. What does that look like?
One, to be counted. That helps to go a long way. And to have a voice in local politics, if you will. I'm not a politician, but to have some influence in how things work in an area. So we're now in a workforce development coalition locally. We have our members there. So they know that we exist and we're at the table for discussions.
Cool. Thank you. So we have another question, I guess has to be clarified. So I'll read it, all right? So it goes, looking back, what role, if any, has starting your community played in your life? And so I'll give an example. For example, one of the things Rodrigo likes to say is that you're only one conversation away from your next deal. It was more than one conversation, but Rodrigo and I own some property together now, right? I am an extroverted introvert. My favorite place is not here. And yet I know a lot of you, and it wouldn't have happened without this, right? There's some people over there from 2020 Builders. I'm the keeper of the data, the data nerd, and they're like, we need a data nerd. And so now I'm collaborating and working with them a bunch. So how has this community kind of impacted you outside of the room, so to speak, outside of the community, if at all? Like, for example, Hannah, you said change your life, maybe.
It has changed my life.
Yeah.
And it I think it's drawn a whole lot more women to me, and I now get to be the one that helps. Not that I have any idea what I'm doing, but through experience, through being a mom, through leading people now, I get to do for others what Kim did for me. And then imagine the ripple that comes from that. And same for you. Like it's so fun to be, oh, she's the women empowerment person. Oh my God, yeah. Like that's a cool
That's
title.
pretty
Not,
awesome.
oh, Hannah,
Yeah.
she's KW or she's what, like I'm proud for my job. But I love being that woman that's known as the one who empowers others.
I think one of the things that was kind of an unintended consequence, but in a good way, is the influence that came from creating a community or a collective of women where I can reach out to someone that might not have ever answered the phone or knew who I was, because they feel like I have something to say or to give or to share. And I think that was something that we weren't trying to create, but just sort of happened unintentionally.
So if I can kind of jump on that. So like I was saying, maybe we didn't do the best job introducing everybody, right? But so Kim, you do a couple mortgages, right? So if you're unaware in the crowd, power of women aside, power of humans, you do a lot of mortgages, right? And so did you have anything like this when you were coming up, or did you just kind of forge ahead and make it happen? And now you're...
I think that Hannah probably chose to talk to me, not just because I had 5 kids, but I always say my motto is I get shit done.
She does. That's a fact.
I had created a community that recognized the top 100 realtors. It's called AVL Top 100. It's a separate business. And so, I think that really that was my only kind of practice for this, if you will. And so Hannah is the people person. I am a closet introvert, just like you, Zach. So I was the person who was saying, we need to have a business account. We need to have, an LLC. I was the person who was like getting shit done. Right. And you're the big picture person.
Correct. And I think that it's so important to note that none of this can be done on just 2 shoulders, right? Like the person you partner with is crucial in the success of what you're doing. You have like 35 people, it sounds like now. Like, I think, right here, we couldn't have done any of it if it wasn't for each other and then the people now in our community. So yes, I agree. She gets so much shit done.
So the question was, just in case, right? How has starting this community impacted your life outside of the community? Or within, however you want to answer.
I'm trying not to look at my wife here who's making fun of me. So I started by saying when we began, it was like, oh, I want to make some friends. I got a shitload of friends. I have unbelievable friends. The makeup of our community is the most diverse set of career you've ever met. Intellectual capacity like you've never seen. The conversations, the friendships that not only I have, but I know everyone else has, really energizes me. Chris makes fun of me because it's become my life. And yeah, okay. But I love it because I know we're making a difference and we're getting somewhere. And I just love these people. So.
Well, so on that, please. So our events are slightly different, but I always laugh that I feel like everyone in the room probably knows more people than I do, because like it's their, I walk people up to each other. I make sure I connect, but they get to interact and talk to one another. How are you guys meeting everybody? What's happening here?
How are we meeting?
So so your role when you're at the meetings, you're out in the crowds mingling, making the thing happen, or
Sometimes we typically, whoever hosts, it's their role to be inviting, making sure name tags are available, doing that host job. But by nature, I'm filling in and, meeting people. But that whole part of what we do of making those connections is very intentional, like I said.
Hannah's got an answer for sure. Hannah's the people person.
Well, right. But I kind of feel like I'm like you. I just kind of flitter around and I don't create deep connection at any of my events. But what comes after is that.
Right.
And I find so much joy in connecting people. And
yeah, that's
I think it seems silly, but name tags are so key. And what we've started to do too is kind of what you do with Table Talk and give some sort of prompt. Like, what's your favorite candy? I don't know, just something, because people are really, especially after COVID, not comfortable approaching other people. It was neat to see tonight how many folks just walked up to each other. And it also made me realize how little I see that happen. Like, how often are you in an elevator and you just kind of stare at the door, right? You don't say, oh, hey, how are you? You have no idea if that might be your next business partner or your spouse. I don't know. I just think we've gotten, whether it was COVID or not, we've gotten into this space of like, just be on your phone, don't connect. And so to see what I saw tonight and what we see at Power of Women is so fun, because at the end of the day, people want a sense of belonging, and that comes through connection.
I think one other thing is when we're at these events, we have Hannah's mom, like we have circled the wagons to get people to help us so that we can be as present as possible. We've also been so intentional on the speakers. That's one thing that's a little bit different. A lot of the speakers that we've had to pay, and they come from outside of Asheville, but they're really relevant to the topics that we have. So
thank you for accepting no payment tonight.
Right. I will say almost every speaker we've reached out to, they respond and say their rate is $15,000. Somewhere in the speaker handbook, it says, say $15,000. We have never paid that much money for a speaker. So if someone tells you a price, know that it's probably something you can negotiate.
When we were doing the Net Profit Summit, we had reached out to this MC guy, and he was like, 25,000. We're like, yeah, we're on a budget. It's like 12,000. We're like, It's like, just tell me what you do it for, and I'll try to come. It was like, wow, that was a really quick, like, it's like cardinal rule in sales. Just like, be patient, don't say anything. Just who can hold their tongue the longest usually gets the better price. Like,
so did you have that MC?
Yeah,
we had Crumb.
He was
much better.
Way better, but it was just a funny antidote to that. I was like, that starting price is not really the price.
Yeah. But someone might go for it.
Yeah.
Hey, I would start higher, right? Yeah. Why not?
Just a quick shout out to Crom. We told him we would buy him and his fiance / wife, soon to be, yes, any concert ticket they want. And he turned us down. He was like, I had such a great time doing it. So if you want to meet a good guy, go meet Crom.
There you go. That's awesome.
All right. So lightning round before we get to audience questions. Get your questions ready. Lightning round. Just to clarify, so we don't have to interrupt questions like we've had to in the past, unfortunately. It's quick answers. All right. What's your favorite book that has helped you build your community, or otherwise, if you don't have one that's community specific? And Brick, we'll start with you. Go back down.
The Platinum Rule, which takes the golden rule, and it's about them, not you.
Interesting. Kim?
Wolfpack.
Yeah, I have to say the same. That is what inspired our community. It's called Wolfpack by Abby Wambach.
Awesome. We will have that in the show notes for everyone. Coming back now. The hardest part of growing your community was
how quickly our events roll around. I don't know how you do it once a month, because I swear I feel like we just did our March event, and our next event is June 14th, next Friday. And so I feel like I'm like, oh, it's time. That's hard.
I would have to agree, logistically trying to keep up and also have a day job is kind of tough. You guys know that, right?
The day job.
The day job will get you.
Day job, yeah. I'm going to just lay there.
Labor of love, right?
There you go. That's a good answer.
What are you the most excited about in the next 6 to 12 months for your community? Rick, starting with you.
Expanding across the country.
Yeah, now I want to be global because you said global.
Yeah.
Like, why stop in America? I'm excited to expand here because we have so much opportunity. Our space, we do it at the Asheville Country Club or the Biltmore Forest Country Club. Both can hold like 200 people. We usually cap our events at 100. So we can have more women.
What was the question again?
What are you the most excited about in the next 6 to 12 months for your community?
I think tightening our systems. I'm really excited about that because I think that has to be a foundation so we can grow.
Awesome. So even though it's lightning, don't feel rushed to answer thoroughly here. How do people connect or get involved with you?
Our website is avldigitalnomads.org.
Nailed it.
No website, but how do you guys want to get connected?
Well, we do have a website. Well, we have a podcast. It's called Finding Your Power. We've finished 2 seasons. There's some amazing women who we've interviewed both locally and globally. And our website is powerofwomen.world. Just don't go there till next month.
Coming soon. All right.
But
So
Finding Your Power podcast is our Instagram handle.
Yeah, did I say it?
No, I think you said it right.
Well, and just since you guys are on the stage, the day job, is this something that people might want to get in touch with you with, right?
Dude,
At least you two.
No.
Yeah.
no.
No, nailed it. But I know these two ladies.
Yeah.
How to get in touch with you for the day jobs.
Yeah, thekimwintersteam.com.
If you need a mortgage.
And hkit@kw.com.
There you go. If you're trying to hang your license somewhere.
Well, if you're going to go email, rickpratt@gmail.com.
Nice.
Okay, but
Or
that
LinkedIn.
email doesn't help us know why we should email you, though.
Because you want to connect.
There you go. He's got a lot of friends,
All right.
people.
He wants
This is
more
how it
friends.
happens.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kimmy with American Eagle Home Inspection. We are your local one-stop shop for all your home inspection needs in Western North Carolina. Do me a favor, pull out your phone, find us, American Eagle Home Inspection on Instagram. Give us a follow. You know what? There's only so much I can tell you about us in 30 seconds, but I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you check out our content. It's very entertaining. It's going to tell you all you want to know about us. So check us out on Instagram, and we'd love to be your one-stop shop resource for your home inspection needs in Western North Carolina. Check us out.
All right, awesome. So we'll do audience questions if there are any. If not, we'll go back to questions. But audience,
So we're gonna.
We'll throw you a mic.
This is a mic that will be thrown at you. It's soft. It can fall on the ground too, but just speak into the mic as normal. There you go. Boom.
I love
You guys are both.
Well, the mic will be on in a second.
So both organizations are trying to scale up, grow digitally.
But hold the mic near your
Oh,
face.
sorry. Globally, does that mean hiring administrative help? Does that mean what does scaling up mean to you all?
So the question is, what does scaling up mean from an operations and logistics standpoint?
I think that yes, we have somebody that we have really part-time that we probably need a little more half-time, I guess, because there's no way that we can grow without creating an infrastructure and having some support. I think Hannah would like to do this as a day job. I think that's her dream.
Well, I do only because I could travel, but I do love my current job so much. We, with our chapter membership purchases, that will allow us to bring someone on and actually bring on a lot of people, I think, because we are charging and there's no shame in that.
do you have a follow-up? Because I have a follow-up, actually.
Did Rick, your infrastructure, how might that change?
So, good question on scaling. In our situation, it is enabling other communities and finding similar type of organizations and then helping them grow to where we are and use our similar type. So it's identifying and growing each other community, and as well getting our own systems in place. I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you. In place so we can also enable that. And at some point we will need some staff, but right now we are 100% volunteer.
I'll hold my follow-up if there's more audience questions. Anybody else? All right, great. Question. So you said the chapters. Are you guys charging per chapter, or is it the membership fees at each chapter that will happen? So if I was a woman and I wanted to open up another city, would I be paying you guys like an opening fee, or is there just the revenue from the members at the new location? Right. Variation of the question is, how are you making sure that the new cities are actually following in step? But part two.
We have a chapter agreement that's very specific. So we make the chapter director invest an initiation fee. And then we are trying to be, and I don't know, I guess they're probably charging the same thing. We're trying to be mindful that as this grows, like what might be affordable in Asheville might not be affordable in New York City. So that's something that we negotiate.
Or the other way.
That'd be more expensive.
Right.
Be too affordable.
Right. But we aren't taking any part of their monthly membership fees at this point.
It's an initiation fee and an annual fee, and whatever they make
It's on you.
is, yeah.
Awesome. And then Rick, how are you guys vetting new member organizations?
For a
or-
new chapter to come as part of United,
Yep.
there is a 6-month fee that they need to cover. It's kind of skin in the game sort of thing. And we're learning still a lot of what makes a good leader and a good community. So we're taking it slow, unfortunately, because I have to.
Is that the attorney in the front row?
Yeah. We do have a board. They're there. I have to say that.
So if I could have my own, can I have a follow up or no?
I mean,
someone
the
else have
audience
a
is quiet
question? I don't
tonight,
want to.
So yes.
Oh, all right. So I can't think of the name of the movie, right? But it's the story of Ray Kroc with McDonald's and how they're trying to scale and everything, right? So a big important part of that and of any business that's trying to scale is how do you ensure that the new location that's away from you, right? How do you ensure that the culture and what you guys stand for and believe in is also embodied by these new places? It sounds like none of us have solved this just yet, but like, what are your plans? Are you not thinking about that necessarily? And you're kind of like, do your thing under our umbrella. Well, Kim's got
No, it's
strong
the
opinions.
who.
Kim's
it
got
is
strong
the who.
opinions.
No, we have an interview process, and we are trying to provide resources to help these chapters be successful. I think the hardest thing to identify is who is going to share and what is it that you're going to talk about. And depending on, I mean, some denominations of churches, you could go to any church at any time on a given Sunday and they're going to have the same homily. So we are trying to give a theme so that we can lighten the load, if you will, on trying to set it up so it's not so overwhelming.
From our side, we're still learning, very new to all this, of course. On the expansion side, we've been developing a best practices book to help out, so forth. We also want to enable something that's special in Chicago that's different here. And so they may do something that we're not. We just had Raleigh Durham, a set of people from there visit us last week. They do trips. They do like remote co-working as a trip. And so they came
interesting.
here. We don't do that.
Right.
We can pick that up. So we want a lot of learning between all the chapters. We don't know everything. We don't want to pretend we know everything.
Is there an audience question? Look, you know how many people come up to me afterwards like, I had a great question.
Can you toss the box one table to where's the
Please
box?
raise your hand with the question.
Oh, Ray Ray's taking the box.
I want to say while we're looking for the box, one thing that I've recognized through this is there are a lot of women groups. So don't think that your group already exists or that, there's enough of that. Like there's so much space in all these different communities for more communities. So I want to be sure that you all don't not start because you think it already exists or that it's already done somewhere and so it's not necessary. It's necessary. If you want it, somebody else wants it too. So don't let that hold you back.
Cool. All right, question.
Okay, this is a question for Hannah or Kim. I work in the field of personal growth and transformation, and I would love to hear from you a little bit more because you said that's kind of like the foundation. What does that mean to you? How do you bring that in? If you can talk a little bit more about that, I would love to hear.
We could talk till next Saturday. I think a lot of it starts with our themes, and all we're doing is creating curiosity at these events. So like one of the themes was boundaries, the power of no to protect your yes. Like my yes is my family, my dad's here, my children. But we can't teach women boundaries in 90 minutes, but our hope is that yes, they connect with each other and they leave there more curious about what's possible and taking ownership of their life. Like I think there's so many people that or I shouldn't say that. There are people that live the same year 85 times and call it a life, and they don't have to. But someone has to be in their community or in their world to say, "Hey, you're better than that," or you're the people that have shown me, reminded me of my potential are the reason I am where I am, because I don't see it in myself still. So my journey is just beginning at 40, but it'll never end. And so I don't know if that answered the question, but I think, yes, we want to create curiosity.
Well, I think to your point, it's about the connection that we make and having conversations and saying, what is missing? You know, we've had meetings with people who we're going to talk about money this time. We've done that, but with a different spin. The money talk this time is about the mindset of money. But we've had like somebody who talked about women and how, you know, money was a shameful thing. And we've talked about so many different topics that are really not related to what we do day to day.
The most popular topic was menopause. Holy cow. We could have stayed at that event.
Coming to an AVL meetup soon. There you go.
Right. You'll have the biggest crowd you've ever had.
Yeah. Next May, Menopause May. We are ready. So, sorry, we didn't mean to cut you off with our joke.
Did you get your question answered? Sorry for interjecting.
All right, we got Mr. Caleb. Where's the box?
Where's the next question? Oh, cool.
Luso Realty representing here. There we go.
Yes, wonderful. My question is for Rick. 2,800 people in a community is pretty impressive. What amount of time did it take to do that? And what method did you use to reach all of those people?
We are based on meetup.com. We add about 80 people a month to our group. We, through experimentation, started to figure out algorithm, like what worked. And for us, it was making sure there was always an event posted. Even when early, it was once a month, and it got more and more afterwards. So we were very conscious about that. And what the part we knew we were missing was people who were not on Meetup, but who just lived in town. So we do the website, very active on social media. So we started to attract people that way in. But it was just more or less organic to make that happen.
So do you guys run ads or any paid at all?
None.
Any blog SEO? It's just purely from...
We don't have a blog. We do have a podcast, relatively new for us.
Okay. How do people find it?
From our social media.
There you go.
But that's going pretty well because we like to tell stories of the different people who are in there and experience and just bringing it in. Did I answer your question? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. All right. Who's next, question-wise?
I promise it's someone. Oh, man. All right. Everyone wants to drink and network. So if we could please get a round of applause for the speakers and for their time. All right, there is some closing up right before we let you guys go when the clicker cooperates. I should start clicking it beforehand. All right, here are 3 things that you can do between meetups, all right? You can volunteer with us or with your community. That's how you do the net profit thing. If you want to volunteer with us, you go to our event page, you hit the volunteer button. It'll tell you what to do. You got some options. Set up, tear down, facilitate, or welcome table. Do you want to meet people or you just want to be a body that helps? We need all of that, right? Invite a friend. The community exists because you invite like-minded people to come. And then make sure you win. We like acronyms. Make sure you win between meetups, right? So watch something to sharpen and or expand your mind, right? Invite someone like we just talked about. Let's hammer that home. And then network to help grow your sphere and impact and your community. So 2 things.
Yeah, so you don't have to do a show of hands, but show of hands, if you own an LLC, right? If you have an LLC in any sort of combination.
A lot of hands.
And if you have your hands raised, are you aware about the FinCEN beneficial ownership requirements of this year?
Sounds boring, but very important.
So if you are not aware, then you need to come. We're doing a lunch and learn with Mary Hart, who's one of the speakers for the Net Profit Summit. This is a new requirement. Anything I say might be totally wrong since it's very new and I'm not the speaker. But I'm going to be there. So if you own an LLC, for any LLC that you have any sort of ownership in, there are new reporting guidelines that you have to do for FinCEN, which stands for financial something, network security, whatever government thing. That's going to fine you really badly if you don't follow the rules. And so that's going to be in an email, hopefully tomorrow with the details. It's 2 weeks from Friday. It's going to be 2 hours. It's going to be totally free. We do need RSVPs to make sure we can have lunch for you. Our sponsors don't know this, but they are sponsoring this event. It's since we don't have a July meeting, we are going to give them a different place to give them the platform. So hope to see you guys there. If you own an LLC and you've not heard of this before, you don't want to get fined. So come to a free lunch and learn with a very, very, very good speaker.
So if you guys have read the book Rocket Fuel, you've got the implementer and the visionary, right? So we've got Kim shaking her head. So if you're the Kim, you want to be there. And if you're the Hannah, you should be like, oh man, I should send my Kim.
You want to go there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Meet people, not take notes.
Yeah. And then look, it sounds like this crowd's more interested in that. Summer Mixer coming up. This is Capella Online 9, super good time. Nothing for sale. All you got to do is show up, right? So RSVP, have a great time and network with the community. It's going to be super fun. And that's it. We end at 7:30. We get you home every time. We're sharp. Boom.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Hey guys, Rodrigo here. Wanted to say thank you for taking the time to listen into this month's panel conversation. We hope that you join us in person at next month's meeting. You can find out more at avlmeetup.com. We primarily meet on the first Tuesday of every month, but be sure to check out our website, avlmeetup.com. You can also watch this conversation on YouTube at AVL Meetup. Well, also, I have a quick announcement. We started a property management company called Vesta Property Management. So if you're looking for third-party management for long-term rental, we'd love the opportunity to talk to you. Our goal at Vesta is to turn houses into homes and investments into returns. If you're looking to work with a third-party management company that will allow you to have peace of mind and experience freedom around rentals, reach out to us. We can help make that happen for you. VestaPM.com.
What's going on, everyone? Zach here to close it out before you sign off for the day. If you liked the data-driven portion of today's meetup, then I'd love to take a moment to tell you about the Ruiz Report and REMC. If you're a real estate professional, then you know that you should become the local economist of choice, but you're probably unsure of how to learn the skills required. That's where the Ruiz Report comes in. We offer customized market reports to promote your business, training videos so you'll learn how to interpret the market data, and monthly quizzes to keep you sharp. Learn more at ruizreport.com and sign up for a free account to watch all of our training videos at no cost. If you're more interested in the live data and some data and analytics dashboards, then I highly suggest you check out remc.co. REMC is the first of its kind data and analytics dashboards for the real estate industry. Now, you have to be an active participating member of the MLS in order to sign up, but it is unparalleled data on every market participant, whether that's an office, a listing, or one of the realtors. Again, you can find out more about REMC at remc.co. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you at one of our next meetups. If you can't make it and you still want to be part of the movers and shakers, then sign up for a free account at avlmeetup.com and get yourself into our member directory. Thanks again. See you next month.